Fancy seeing you here. YouTube, we're here. We're welcoming in the YouTube jobby. Something I wanted to do for a while, to be honest, but yeah, I just kept putting it off. And then I was like, why I keep putting him off? So here we go, episode 1. No fancy welcome, no, hey guys, welcome to the latest YouTube video, and all the razzmatazz that comes with that. We'll just keep it simple. And yeah, today we're just going to go through who I am, why I'm here, what I do, and maybe a bit of background, a bit of backstory on me as a person, if you really care that much. And yeah, welcome to the channel. Hope you enjoy the first episode. So the first thing with YouTube is you have to, for me filming it, I have to do it in wide lens. So my camera's like the other way around to usual. So it's a bit weird, if I'm being honest. And I've also got it's weird because like YouTube is about being raw, right? So yeah, there's a bit of planning behind it, but I'm just going to kind of go off things and go off on a bit of a tangent, and we'll just see where it takes us. Like, we don't have to stick to Instagram rules of you only have so many minutes or seconds and you got to flip it. Honestly, like, Instagram does me fucking head in sometimes. Also, if you're new here and you don't know me that well, I probably will swear a little bit. It's just the way I am. I just like to put F-bombs in every now and again. I'll never say the C word, so don't worry about that. That's not really my thing. I've got a bit of a plan here, right? Just because I don't want this to go on forever. Like, YouTube is about being longer, but also I don't want it to bore you to fucking death. So, so yeah, listen, I'm pretty sure you'll know who I am, if you don't already. But my name's Lee Overton, online health and fitness coach, mainly for parents. But you don't have to be a parent to work with me. Like, if you understand the principles, and not a good time. Phone's ringing. 1 minute. My phone's ringing. I'm looking at my watch. 2 secs. Right, we're back. We're back. It feels really weird because I feel like I'm filming for like normal Instagram purposes. And I know that I need to be a little bit different with YouTube. So bear with me. Remember, I'm going to pretend that somebody's just there and I'm just talking to them, just having a little conversation, and you're not there. That's how I'm going to do it. So who am I? Right. Well, my name's Lee. I have a 6-year-old son called Jesse. I was born and raised in Boston with my mum, dad, my younger brother. Lived there since, obviously, I was born. I lived there till I was 16. Went to primary, secondary school around there. Anyone from around that area? Wrangle Primary School, Giles Secondary School. Had a really good and enjoyable upbringing, living in the countryside in a little village. And yeah, like it was amazing. When I was 16, I moved to Grimsby to play football. I was playing, so I started as a young kid, like as you do, 6-7 years old, playing football at your local village team. And then I got scouted for Grimsby. I did the School of Excellence. I was there from 11. I got a youth team contract when I was 16, so a 2-year sort of scholarship, they called it back then. So I went to moved in and lived in Grimsby, and luckily one of my best mates from school, Parks, he got a contract as well, so we both moved there, and it was amazing. Like, honestly, I know everyone's like, oh, what was the best years of your life? And I think everything, like, experience-wise is different, but like, honestly, doing that when I was 16, like, obviously when I first went there, we was so naive to living in a big place like Grimsby, a town really, compared to living out in like the countryside and in a small town like Boston, really. And yeah, it was just a massive, like, we had to get the bus everywhere. We couldn't drive. Our mums and dads wasn't there. We lived in digs with Ron and Wendy, 2 really great people who looked after us. We lived there. Us 2 lived there. The club paid for it for us to be there, and yeah, we lived there. We literally had to be, the only thing we got for transport was a bus pass, so we had to get the bus everywhere. So, like, as you can imagine, getting the bus every single day, going around Grimsby, going to some really grim places in certain, I mean, every town's got them, haven't they? But this, like, one bus that we had to get went through like the roughest neighbourhood in Grimsby, as it was then. So yeah, like, it was an amazing upbringing, but very, like, you had to grow up quick, as you can imagine. So a lot of life lessons was learnt then. And we got to 18. I managed to get a professional contract when I was 18, which, growing up as a kid, is like one of the most like, it's what you dream to do, really, as a kid. You want to be up and you want to grow up and be a footballer. Yeah, I mean, I was only there a year, and it wasn't the most kind of enjoyable football season in that respect. The first team, we got relegated. I was on the bench nearly every single game of the year. Never actually got a game, which was probably the most frustrating thing, not to say that I was ever probably good enough to get a game, but being a goalkeeper and like being the second choice goalkeeper, you always think at some point you might get on through injury or maybe a red card or something like that. So there's always that thing in my back, and I was like, hopefully I'll just get my debut at some point. I played a few pre-season games against some like big clubs. We played Doncaster Rovers, we played Leeds, we played Scunthorpe, and I got some games then. And that was, again, a really amazing feeling for me, but yeah, just a bit annoying that I never actually made my debut and played a professional game, which was a bit frustrating. But it is what it is, and I still had the best time ever. And at the end of the day, I will take that to my grave that I was a professional footballer for a year. After that, I moved back home, went back to live with my mum and dad for a good few years, and I just started like coaching kids on the side. Like I worked for a good friend of mine who I knew from when I was growing up, Mark Melson. He was branching out and doing a lot of like coaching, PE coaching and like that stuff like that in schools, like doing PE stuff for primary schools, and then after school clubs and boot camps and that in the year, in the half terms. So that was fun for me. That was part time really. Didn't really know what I was doing in my life at that point. Obviously living back at home, I was doing a little bit of work for my granddad. He was giving me some money for doing some odd jobs around his yard and his business, so that was keeping me going. And I was playing a bit of semi-professional football, but again, I was getting £30-40 a week, so it wasn't exactly stuff to live on. So yeah, I did that for a few years, and again, it was a real flexible part of my life. I could still see my mates a little bit. I still had the flexibility of seeing my long-distance partner at the time. I could still go to the gym a lot, and that's all the stuff that I really enjoyed doing. So I really tried to just enjoy that early part of my 20s. And then obviously things got a little bit more serious, and I was like, right, I want to move in with my partner at the time. So I decided to move up to Doncaster, which is where I still live today. And we decided, right, we'll get together. And then it was like, I'll get a job. We'll get a job, we'll get a house, get blah, blah, all the usual stuff, right? And that happened. And yeah, I moved to Doncaster, got a job as a parts advisor at Mercedes-Benz, which again, you're like, oh, Mercedes-Benz, it sounds great. It's not the Mercedes-Benz of the Formula 1 world, let me tell you. Listen, there's some nice cars in Mercedes. But yeah, being in the parts department isn't quite as probably luxurious as maybe what you would think when you're saying I work for Mercedes. But listen, I had, again, valuable life experiences. Like I went to that job, had absolutely no idea anything about that job. But I picked it up as I went along. And yeah, I ended up building myself up. And I was there 7, nearly 8 years, I think. And ended up becoming the parts department manager, and I did that for maybe two and a bit years, something like that. So again, I was quite proud of the fact that I'd managed to achieve that and gone up in the ranks in that respect. But for me, like the passion for me was always, that was never the job that I was ever going to stick to forever. Do you know what I mean? It was like, yeah, it was a good filler gap and it paid all right to a degree, but it was never fulfilling. I was like, this is never going to be me forever. Like I'm not going to do this forever. So yeah, I ended up taking my PT qualification in 2016. Did a really good course. Again, amazing life experience on this one. Like we did a 10-week online course, then we did like a 2-week intensive at this specific place, European Institute of Fitness. It was in Wales, like top of Wales. And we stayed in like this little house, and there was a little PT studio off the back of it. And we just learnt everything for 2 weeks. It was intense. Met some great people there, people from all over the world. It was amazing. And again, just a really amazing experience that I'm really glad that I did, because especially now PT qualifications, you can just do them online, or you just go to one seminar and you're suddenly a PT. Gave me the license to start coaching people, or start training people properly, and that's what I did. Never physically went into a gym because I was still working at Mercedes at the time, so I did some mobile PT to start with, where we just went to various, like did it outside, did it at people's houses and homes and what have you. Then I started, when we moved into another house, like we had a bit of a bigger area, like the house I'm in today. We've got a bigger sort of garage area than the gym, so created a bit of a garage type gym, and people then came to me for that. And I did that sort of 4 or 5 hours a week. And do you know what? I enjoyed the in-person stuff. But again, it was never going to be, I was never going to be able to do both, really. I always in the back of my head, I was like, I know that eventually if I want to become this first like full-time coach, whether that be in a PT capacity or whatever, right? Online coaching wasn't really a thing then anyway. So yeah, I did that for a few years, and I did boot camps as well, which I really, really enjoyed boot camps because I really enjoyed the group element to it. And a lot of people that I coached was amazing people. A lot of like older people that were just wanting to do fitness for health, for fun. And we did it in a real small, like little community hall, but it was great fun. And we did that for like nearly 2 years. And again, that wasn't something, I'd never made hardly any money from it. I was charging £5 a person, 6 to 8 people was coming. I was paying for the rent of obviously the village hall. So I made very little money, but I just enjoyed the element of it all. And that, again, put me in good stead. And then kind of online coaching started to come into, obviously COVID happened and all that kind of stuff, and people really took it online. And I never really did that because I was getting paid full whack for being at home from Mercedes, and I was like, I had no need to really go out and look out for work, so I just chilled during COVID, if I'm honest. Watched, what's his name? What's the Tiger guy's name? Come on, help me out with that one. Joe somebody. Why can't I remember? I'm going to have to Google this. Wait a second. Joe Exotic, the Tiger King, that was it. Who remembers that? What a classic, what a throwback. That's when that came out. TikTok dancing started to become a thing. And everyone did Zoom quiz nights. Oh, and I'm not crazy. Cut that bit out. So yeah, where are we? 2021. That's when I kind of started online coaching. And then, I mean, as online coaching is today for me, like that was never online coaching. That was me sending out plans, sending out diet plans, sending out training plans. And I mean, I dread to think of some of the stuff that might have been on there. Anyway, so yeah, I did that. And then it kind of started to take off a little bit. I invested in a kind of like business startup thing to get me going into doing that kind of work. And yeah, that really helped. And I think for me, yeah, 2021 into that motion, that's when it starts to take off. And yeah, things kind of progressed from there, really. Obviously, I'd changes in life circumstances in 2021 as well. Obviously, Jesse was around at this point. Jesse was born in 2017. So yeah, like a lot of different things happened in that year for me. But it was, like I said, that really started getting the ball rolling for me in online coaching terms. So that was great. And for me, that's when it, like I say, that's when it started to take off. And then finally, 2022, September 2022. So this is the story, okay, so I was at work one day at Mercedes, and I was having a conversation with someone, and they was talking about they was moving abroad, and they was literally giving up the whole life, giving up the job, and going abroad. And I was like, is that a call for me to do the same? Like, do I just jack it all in and just go, right, boom, give myself 6 months, online coach, 6 months you've got to do everything you can to make it work. I had about, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 clients, something like that at that point. So it wasn't something that was ever going to be a full-time job at that point. But I was just like, what have I got to lose? Like, I've got all this sort of thought process now. Football-wise, I wasn't playing at the time. I was injured, so I had a bit more free time to myself. Obviously, Jesse, I saw him like intimately. I didn't necessarily see him every day. So I was like, right, let's just go for it. So I walked into, so we used to do this like yearly meeting thing where it's like a one-on-one thing, a one-on-one review, whatever. And I walked in and I had these papers and I was just like, and he started talking. I was like, I'm just going to stop you there. This isn't going to be for me anymore. And I can't remember how the conversation happened, obviously, but I just handed my notes in there and then I was just like, yep, that's me done. So within the space of 2 days, I decided that was it. I was going to hand my notes in. This meeting came up, sliding doors moment, and I just went for it. So obviously I did last 4 weeks or something. I went on. It worked out really well actually because I was getting my full-time money as always, as I've been doing it month on month. Okay, and then I had a holiday with the lads and we went golfing. First time I've been away with them, so that was a really good time of the year. August time we went away. Came back from then, probably had a week or so at work, and I was like, right, into coaching now full time. I had 6 weeks of additional pay to go into, and that kind of topped me up for a little bit. I had a little bit of savings to put to the side as well, and I just went in. And I just went in there and then. And obviously at the time it was a big risk. 6 months in, it was a risk because I got to Christmas and I was like, shit, am I going to have to start doing, I'm going to get another part-time job or maybe another full-time job again because this ain't paying and this ain't going the way it will. And then without going into it, and I'll probably go into it another time, that's when I first looked into a one-to-one business coach and I signed up. I remember I signed up 2 days before Christmas because I was just like, do you know what? There's no time to wait. Like, I need this. This is what's going to get me to the place I want to get to, or at least give me the chance to do so. And yeah, probably the best decision I could have ever made was putting that investment and that thought process and asking for help from somebody that was going to help me in that position. And yeah, it's kind of got me where I am today, where obviously there is still a lot of things that I want to do. There's still a lot of things that I want to achieve. But I'm very happy with how business is. I'm very happy in life. Like today, the day this video goes out, she may or may not like me telling this. Today's video goes out is literally year to the date that my girlfriend now, Alicia, we went on our first date. So yeah, obviously that's been a massive, massive part of, for me, life and just getting into that reason why you do things and having that support system alongside you. Because again, it can be, as a working on your own, it's very, very lonely at times. But yeah, it's like I said, I'm really, really happy with where I'm at the minute. There's still lots of things I want to do. There's still lots of things I need to do better. Lots of achievements I still want to do. But year on year, I just keep trying to push and progress myself, get out of my comfort zone, do things that I need to do and want to do to help me get better, but help my clients do better and help the right people and bring them on. Because again, that's my job as the online coach now, is to help people in the goals that they have. It's not just about being specifically, here's a diet plan, here's a training plan, go and follow them and I'll check in with you next week. Which, again, rightly or wrongly, some people still do, and what we did in the past to a degree with online coaching. But yeah, so yeah, I think that's me. I don't think I've missed anything off my list, and I didn't really look at it as well, so I'm quite happy with that. So yeah, thanks for listening if you're still here. I'm going to say it, like and subscribe to the channel. That's the first time I get to say it. Woohoo, yeah boy. So yeah, that is me. Thanks for listening. Please drop this a like, share it with your friends, and subscribe if you can. And I will see you in the next one. Thank you, good night. And much love. That I did steal off somebody. I'll probably have to edit that out because they'll copyright me.